You know, I asked myself, why was last gen so much better than this gen? And you know, I just decided to make a video about it. So, last gen versus this gen, PS2 versus PS3, Xbox versus Xbox 360, Nintendo Gamecube versus Nintendo Wii. Last gen versus this gen. Let's go. Alright, let's start off with games. In terms of games, I think last gen's games absolutely pukes on this gen's. I mean, this gen has had some great games, but when you ask yourself, how many games have you bought in this gen on the PS3 or 360 or the Wii? How many games have you bought in that after you finished playing that game, it had you say, okay, now that was a well spent $60. Last gen's games had that effect on me so much more than this gen's. Is crazy. The only games that had me saying, okay, that was a well spent $60 for the PS3, Uncharted 2, Call of Duty 4, Metal Gear Solid 4, Resistance 2, Killzone 2, Little Big Planet. I'm not even going to say God of War 3. God of War 3 was a great game, but after I beat it, I felt like something was missing. Like, I felt like I didn't get my $60 worth in that game. For Xbox 360, Xbox 360 had some good games. It has great games, but in terms of games that you felt like were worth $60, very few. Halo 3, Gears of War, Splinter Cell, Fable, Fallout. I mean, just very the games last gen compared to this gen. Last gen wins, in my opinion. GameCube versus Wii. GameCube had some great games. GameCube is one of the most underrated systems in history, in my opinion. I had a GameCube before I had a PS2. GameCube had some great games. Wii had Super Smash Brothers Brawl, Super Mario Galaxy, Mario Kart. You know, I don't know too much about the Wii, but GameCube, in terms of games, I think beats Wii too. Last gen's games were just better than this gen. I mean, and I know why, and I'm gonna get to that. So, in terms of games, last gen won, this gen Zedo. Now, let's get to software. Software, I think this gen wins, and I'm gonna tell you why. Software is more focused on than the actual game this gen, and it's sad. Last gen, what's the main reason why you bought a game? To be entertained and for it to have a good story. This gen, what's the main reason why you buy a game? To play online. What's the main reason why people play Halo? To play online. What's the main reason why people play Gears of War? To play online. What's the main reason why people play Battlefield Bad Company? To play online. What's the main reason why people play Call of Duty? To play online. No one buys games this gen to for the story. At least very few games. I mean, very few people this gen buy games for the story. I still buy games for the story. I mean, am I the only one? Because I know people that bought Uncharted 2 and they haven't even touched the story. All they do is play online, and I'm like, the story is the best part about the game. Sure, the online is great and all, but I still focus on the story. I mean, I think if a game does not have a good story, it sucks. I mean, Call of Duty has a good online, but the story is average. I mean, that's why so many shooters this year are average, because after Call of Duty 4, so many shooters are trying to be what Call of Duty is, and that's not how it should be. That's why I think Killzone 2 was slept on, because it wasn't like Call of Duty. It was trying to be its own game, but why follow Call of Duty? Because Call of Duty, each game is getting worse and worse. Call of Duty 4 was the best one. Then World at War came out. World at War was good, but World at War, the highlight of that was Nazi zombies. That shouldn't be a highlight of the game for anything. Then Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 was probably the most hyped game, and that's why it failed, because people were expecting it to be so great, but it wasn't. It was just an average shooter, because Call of Duty is becoming so repetitive. It's funny to me. But the thing, software, because I'm getting so off topic. Software is better This gen, because last gen was focused on games, this gen is focused on software. People focus more on online than the actual game, and it's sad, man. It is sad. Now let's get to the system design. In terms of system design, Xbox One beats Xbox 360. Xbox One looked better than Xbox 360, not just because it was black and I'm black and that means we have something in common, but Xbox One, it had the X across it and then it had the green button in the middle. So, you know, it was basic, but yeah, it was still a good design. What is an Xbox 360? It looks like a white lunchbox. I've said that so many times, but it's true. It looks like a white lunchbox. It has nothing. It has no design. Just a plain white with a little silver place where the disc tray comes out, and like you see the words Xbox 360 engraved into the console. Xbox One wins in my opinion. The only two systems I think wins in terms of system design this year is Wii and PS3. PS3 looks better than PS2. Wii looks better than Gamecube. So in terms of system design, give it to this gen. This gen. Now let's get to the system reliability. Now this is big. This is big. System reliability. Last gen, how, when you had a PS2 or Xbox last gen or Nintendo GameCube, did your system ever did it ever break on you? Ever? Mine's didn't. I mean, my PS2 still works to this day. This gen, sadly I've lost my PS3 to the yellow light of death, and people continuously lose their Xbox 360 towards the red ring of death. You never had to worry about your system breaking last gen and the gen before that. Sure, you got a warranty on your system just in case something happened, but you never expected the day to come like, oh my god, my system broke, I actually have to use this warranty. This gen, people are in fear to even turn on their console compared to last gen. When were you ever scared to turn on your console last gen? Never. This gen, it's like this. Please work. Please work. Please don't red ring. Please don't red ring. Please don't red ring, please. Please. I can't afford another one, please. Oh, thank God. That is sad. I mean, you should never, ever, and the gamer means ever, be scared to turn on your system. I mean, how many times last gen were you scared to turn on your PS2 or Xbox or GameCube? Never. This gen, you're lucky if you get a good 2 years out of a PS3 or Xbox 360. I mean, in terms of system reliability, last gen absolutely crushes this gen. So it's tied up 2-2. What are we gonna do? Alright, now it's tied up 2-2. Last gen versus this gen. Now to finish this battle off, it's going to go like this. In terms of entertainment value, have you got more out of last gen or this gen? In terms of more classic moments, like moments you won't forget playing that game, this gen or last gen? In terms of more time you stayed up late playing a game regardless if it had online or not, this gen or last gen? For me, drum roll please, last gen wins 3-2. Last gen officially Falco punched this gen. Now I'm gonna tell you why. Dude, I enjoyed last gen so much. The games are so much better. I stayed up late so many times last gen, especially for the GameCube. For the GameCube, dude, GameCube didn't even have online. Online or GameCube was not possible. But GameCube, dude, I stayed up late playing their games: Super Smash Bros. Melee, Medal of Honor Rising Sun, Super Mario Sunshine, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I used to stay up playing those games until like the chickens were like, and like I didn't even care. I was playing that game. I didn't even care about online. I just loved the game because it was that fun. There's been no game, that system that has made me stay up late until the chickens were like calling me back inside the house. No game has done that. I mean, sure, you might see me playing like 1 or 2 in the morning, but when I'm talking about staying up late, I'm talking about you played that game from morning till the night, to like the early nighttime. I'm talking about till like 2 in the morning or something like that. I'm talking about from morning to night, just straight playing games. No game this gen has made me did that. So that's why last gen wins, man. Last gen beats this gen. My opinion. What do you guys think? Last gen versus this gen? Leave comments.